Alright everybody, welcome back to another StarCraft 2 commentary. I am 404, going to be giving you this commentary here on Scrap Station. Looks like SanZenith spawning at the left hand side or north end of Scrap Station as the red Protoss player, and over here as the blue Zerg player. Looks like we have LastWish. This is indeed a BattleNet game between these two players, obviously on the created servers. Not really sure why some players' names are in Korean and some are in English. I guess that's just preference. I don't really know anything about Korea or how BattleNet works in Korea. Mainly because I don't know Korean, so that'd be kind of weird, I guess. Or I guess it'd be kind of cool if I knew a lot about Korea, because then I could go over there and hit all these players up for interviews and stuff and just see what it's all about. As that's what we all want to do. That's the only reason we want to see esports thrive, is to bring the scene over to America and just see it, flourish. I believe it was just a matter of time before we see esports and StarCraft come over to America. As you know, the GSL is huge in Korea right now, and $85,000 is a lot of money for, I guess you could say a video game, but it is a sport. And if you think about it, things like baseball and football are way more than that. I mean, oh god, it's just incredible, the prices for that, and boxing and fighting and all that. So I don't see why, video games couldn't become a multi-million-dollar sport and have these huge prize pools and things like that. So hopefully that's something we'll see in one day. But it looks like we are going to have this map on Scrap Station. Like I said, this isn't like one of the highest rated replays. It looked pretty cool. It was the matchup on SC, and I wanted to see a replay on Scrap Station. I haven't seen one in a while, so that's why I casted it. And nobody can stop me. Nobody can stop me from casting this replay. Maybe my hard drive space could stop me. I could run out of hard drive space. That's always a possibility. Hopefully Santa Claus will bring me a new hard drive for Christmas. My other one crapped out on me, and I'm down to working with this measly 40 gigabyte hard drive. And as you know, recording with fraps, that is not a lot of recording. Only about, I might be able to get about 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. But yeah, that's about it. Either way, back to the game here. This drone is just like hot on the tail of this probe here. Able to finally get one shot off on it, but of course those shields will regenerate. Overlord will come out and probably sit around here. Perfect spot for an Overlord. A lot of people do say this is a Zerg map, as they are able to get this expansion fairly quickly and fairly safely. Rocks are in the way over here to prevent any kind of run by or anything like that. So I would say I agree, this is somewhat of a Zerg favored map. However, it's still great for Protoss and Terran alike. One thing you don't see on this map a lot, and what was I looking at? Like nothing there for a really long time. I apologize for that. But one thing I do like about this map is this expansion up here on the island. It's, I guess it isn't very hard to get, but I would say it's very hard to defend. So I guess that's why we don't see it a lot. I would like to see it used, though. I think it's very interesting. It would, provide a little bit more dynamic play if we were to see that used. And I'm not sure if it even gets scouted that much anymore, because it really hasn't even been used since the beta or anything like that. It does look like there is a probe just going to be checking for, I guess, any kind of proxies, even though really Zergs can't proxy anything. So I'm not sure exactly what that probe's doing. Maybe it might run down here to the gold, see what that's all about. But this Ling is going to run in here. The Stalker is going to stop it with this choke here. Now this choke looks like it is big enough for a Stalker as well as a Zealot. Well, obviously if it's big enough for a Stalker, it's big enough for a Zealot. But lots of times you see players wall off, and it looks like only a Zealot can get through. So yeah, very nice setup there by Sans. Looks like he knows what he's doing. However, a Void Ray is out. And there wasn't anything to deal with this. However, as soon as that Void Ray hit, we should see some more Queens being trained up. There is one, however, it's about here. It's about halfway done, almost all the way done now. So there's only going to be 2 Queens. This is going to be very interesting. I do not know how LastWish is going to hold this off. There are 2 Queens, but if I'm not sure why Zenith, the SanZenith isn't backing up with that. It could take on one queen very easily, but two is just too many. Should see a Phoenix come out of the starport over here and pick up one of those queens while it fires at the other one or something like that. That's always a very viable play, but it looks like SanZenith is going to respond to that by just throwing down 2 more gateways and even expanding. So this will force the Zerg player over here to produce units that it really doesn't want to. Yeah, even throwing down that Hydralist in, as it fears the air is going to be dominant in this game. However, nothing even coming out of the starport anymore, and it's going to produce this Zerg player to go ahead and throw down that Hydralist in and make a couple of Hydralists just to defend, because we all know Hydralists are very, very good against any kind of air units from the Protoss player. Looks like the rocks are going down, about halfway done. These Lynx are going to be picking away at it. They do have a little bit more time to get all the way through, and this very nice Overlord placement does show that, yeah, you can definitely see that there are probes mining from these mineral patches back here. Very invaluable information, and I'm sure what's his name, San, I'm sure San does not know that there is an overload back here. So very, very nicely done. Both players now actually welling away at these rocks. Looks like this Void Ray is going to come back in here one more time to see exactly what's going on. These rocks are actually almost down, and Void Ray shooting at Zerglings. I'm not sure if that's the most cost-effective way to deal with that, especially since there was this queen here able to do plenty of damage to that Void Ray. And the Hydra Scar here, you might lose this Void Ray. It's going to be close. Does pull back at the last minute. He should just go ahead and park that back at his base so it can start regaining some of those shields, so it doesn't lose any more hard life, as the Void Ray is fairly expensive and you do not want to lose it. Looks like a Phoenix is going to be coming out of the Stargate. Maybe lift up a Queen or a Hydralisk or something like that. We got upgrades, more Hydralisk, and Overlord's coming out for the Zerg player here, but neither player really opted to produce any more drones, it doesn't look like. Pull up the income tab. They should be... Wow, no, actually, it looks like the Zerg player is ahead by about 12 drones there, and it looks like we are going to have a small confrontation here, but this is not the best place for a Zerg player to attack. There's lots of energy on those sentries, and can just split this army in half with just like, what, 1, 2, 3 force fields. And even though there's a spawn here, I don't know why LastWish is going to be pressuring ahead unless he just knows something I don't. And yeah, 3 force fields totally caught this Zerg player off guard, even throwing one down for, better measure there. And the Protoss player was able to pick off just, a handful of that army there. And looks like more force fields going to be thrown down. Not the best force fields there at all. Could have split those units up just a little bit better. And if we pull up the production tab, looks like more Hydralisk Endlings on the way. Even a Forge going to be thrown down for the Protoss player. Pretty nice force fields there, trapping out just a couple of those units. However, this is a lot of Hydralisk. Very, very good against this army composition here. They don't have, the best health, but they do a lot of damage there. And I guess San just really doesn't want to engage this for some reason. Maybe he's just waiting for more units. Either way, he keeps force fielding this off. Just doesn't really want to engage this head on. There are no more energy left on these sentries, so it looks like it's ready or not. Santa's going to have to engage this Zerg army by LastWish here. Cutting it in half fairly good. There are a few, Hydralisks back there just scurrying around, not really sure what to do. And I think San will be able to hold this off fairly easily. There are 3 cannons here, even another one warping in. And I don't know why LastWish would not pull out of here. Those cannons will just rip through the Hydralisk. And of course, San is able just to keep on warping the reinforcements. Robo-Boy on the way for San here, and just more of the same from the Zerg player, even getting his 3rd base down here. So very nicely done there, attacking, coming out ahead, and expanding in the process. So just going to get further and further ahead. However, this base over here for San is underway. Not really the best saturation on it yet, and that's probably why he didn't have that big of an army. So we should see, more drones being, or probes rather, being trained up and transferred down there to get that economy for the Protoss player underway. Because once the Protoss player does get a sizable economy underway, it can just keep throwing on these warp gates and warping in just what it seems like unlimited reinforcements, especially if you're a Zerg player. It's just like there's a never-ending stream of units coming. However, it looks like we do have a Spire coming down. Not sure. I guess they're going to get some Mutalisk out as well as a Roach Warren. So the Zerg player is going to get a little bit of everything, it looks like. Or maybe just switch it up completely. Robo-Bay going to be coming down in for the Protoss player as well. Where's it at? Looks like maybe, yeah, here. It's about almost halfway done, I guess. Gonna be getting this Colossus out, which is exactly what the Protoss player needs against the Hydraling mix of the Zerg player there. Creep is gonna be almost coming into the base here, or into this side of the map here of the Protoss army. And looks like San is just going to sit here and macro up a little bit. There are a ton of cannons here you can always fall back to if there's anything on the way or anything that he's just scared of. And I guess the Overlord was ran to the base here. If we look at the vision, no, it doesn't look like the Overlord ran in here and seen that Robo Bay. Just getting the Spire there just for the heck of it. But I assume we should see some Corruptors coming out there. And even have a Warp Prism, so that's interesting to see out of the Protoss player. Might come up here and grab this expansion. That would just be awesome, I would think. Or, of course, could even grab this expansion, as these rocks do block off there. But the Overlord, or Overseer rather, is now in the base. San now sees exactly what's going on, sees a Robo Bay, sees all the other units, sees really nothing else coming out of that starport there, and probably will just come back over here and chill, or maybe even scout out this expansion down here. Looks like even saw that one drone being, or probe rather, being picked up by the Warp Prism, and the Warp Prism just might go up to the island up there, which, wow, if he does that, I would say SanZenith is a mind reader. And yes, that's exactly what he's doing. Doesn't quite have the minerals yet, only at about 250 minerals, but very shortly we'll have that 400 minerals to go ahead and drop that Nexus there. And yeah, as I was saying before, really going to be good for San if LastWish does not scout that, but it looks like a huge number of Hydralisks down there. If we look at the army tab, the Zerg player is just pushing way ahead in terms of army supply and minerals. Actually, it's pretty close to minerals now. But yeah, either way, it's about 150 to about a 100 size or food army. However, I know a lot of those are probes for the Zerg player. And it looks like San is going to push through the middle here just a little bit. Force some of that creep to recede back. You don't want to get sandwiched in between that creep. Hydras just move so fast on creep. And yeah, double gas being thrown down here. It looks like the economy for San here has picked up just a little bit. Yeah, 44 to 65. Still needs to train up some more drones though. Looks like he's opting to chrono boost out these Colossus rather. And there are 2 Colossus already on the field. So 2 Colossus with this Stalkers, Sentry, just Gateway unit army should be very good for San. If LastWish does not get some kind of Corruptors out, I would say he's going to be in a lot of trouble with those Colossus once they arrive. And I'm not sure if the upgrades for the Protoss player have not been done. But it looks like if I can get one of these links here, no upgrades on the Lings. Oh, the Corruptors are already out. +1 upgrades on the Corruptors. On the Hiders, they're still at 00. And yeah, there are actually a ton of Corruptors out. So very nicely countered by LastWish here. I don't know if Sam will be able to hold this off. There are a lot of Corruptors out. It only takes, you know, just a few Corruptors to kill off these Colossus, especially if they don't get focus fired. On the other hand, there are a lot of Colossus here that should be able to take care of this. And it looks like San is ready to engage this. He's going to be moving out, pick off these just couple of Lings just chilling there. And I do say a couple of lot. And it's really hard to say what a couple is. I guess a couple is 2, and that was like 3. So I guess we could say that's a few. Either way, these, oh wow, lots of Corruptors right there. Should be able to get a few shots off on that Colossus. Yeah, one Colossus might go down, almost down to about below half health, around 20 to 30% health. Very nicely done by LastWish. Didn't overextend himself, but I feel he could have, you know, moved in and taken out that last Colossus. Might have only lost 1 or 2 Corruptors, but that would have been one less Colossus breathing down your neck. And I'm not sure where all the Hydralisks went. Here they are. Lots of Hydralisks and lots of Corruptors. Even some Roaches to go into the front of this and tank some of this damage. Looks like we might see a huge battle here. Will the Zerg army commit to it? Yes, runs all of his Roaches in there and Hydralisks. Looks like the Hydralisk got out front, but he really wants those Roaches in the front there. These Corruptors are going to start shelling away at these Colossus here. However, the Stalkers are focused firing them. Hydralisk in the back. Nice concave by actually both players, but it looks like this army of the Zerg player is just going to be a little bit too much for the Protoss player to handle. All the Colossus do go down, and SanZenith says the equivalent to GG in Korean. Thanks everybody for listening, watching, whatever you did, not watching if you didn't watch, but if you didn't watch, I don't know why I'm thanking you. Either way, there will be more games in the future, and see you next time.